The Utkarsh Parashar Show.
So hello and welcome to the Utkarsh Parashar Show. Today we have a special guest named Harpreet Singh. Harpreet is a real estate agent with Avion Realty in Markham, Ontario. His brand, the Reet, represents excellence and righteous advice in real estate. Harpreet has 7 years of experience as a financial advisor at one of the major Canadian banks. He sells real estate in Toronto and the surrounding area and also have platinum access to the pre-construction projects. So thank you so much, Harpreet, for accepting my invitation and coming up on the show. It's a huge honor for me to interact with you today.
Thank you so much, Utkarsh. This is a good opportunity for me and for all of us to come and share experiences here. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
So let's begin by asking about your Canadian journey.
Okay, so my Canadian journey actually started in 2010 when I came here as an international student, right? So actually, I had no plans to come. I had no plans to come to Canada. I finished my school. I got into Ramjas College at Delhi University, right? And I was doing my courses, but my aunt was here. And then she told me, hey, you should come and come to Canada because we are seeing so many international students all across the malls. There has to be a program the way they're coming in, right? So I was like, okay, you know what, like I applied. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, then I'll continue with my Bachelor's of Commerce at DU. So I come here, I got the visa and everything done. That time things were pretty quick, so everything got done in 2 months. Came here, went to Centennial College, did a 2 years diploma in business finance. So diploma was pretty much banking related, right? Every course what I was doing was banking related. So when I came here on December 26, 2010, and I was like, okay, I'm here, but I have to pay for my expenses, right? I have to pay for my rent. Even if I was living with family, there are my personal expenses, right? So you have to help them out too. And I was sitting on my laptop and I was like, let me check what the website is all about for Centennial College. And I stumbled upon an on-campus job. Okay, so, and that's how I got my first job at Centennial College within I think 2 weeks of coming to Canada. And then I worked there. I worked at the college gym, used to do everything from like cleaning the washroom to like organizing events. I have done all that. And it was so much fun because you're working in a student environment, and it's just time just goes by. Because every student who you're working with, they are all international students from different countries. You have people from China, India, Vietnam, Philippines. So I did that course for 2 years. The one thing I always made sure that I surround myself with people from here. Reason being because when you come to a different country, you want to understand their culture, you want to understand their language. Right? What do they talk about? Like, how do they, like when friends from here meet, like what do they talk about? Right? Understand the culture. And second thing, I made sure the jobs I want to do when I'm studying, I want to make sure that job or skill can be transferred to my next career. Right? And that's why working at Centennial College gave me the exposure because yes, I was going from cleaning the washroom to like organizing events or doing front desk, but I had all this experience, right? I even used to work at the kitchen there. So did that for 1.5 years. After that, once I think my course finished in April 2012. So it's actually a 2 years program, but if you do back to back, you can finish it actually very sooner. You can finish in 1 year and 4 months. So did that, and I was like, now what? Right? Because Centennial College, they would not give you the job anymore because you're not a student. Right? But luckily what happened at that time, Centennial College opened up a gym. So I started working there because gym was allowed to hire people from outside. And then I started looking for a job. I was like, what job do I need? Right? Every course is banking related. So let me look for a job at a bank. So I'll share this picture with you. Maybe I'll email it to you. So I took a map of city of Toronto and I wrote down my home address and I was like, which is the first bank I can go to? And I started from my house address and started going to every single bank from there, right? And I started marking down. I was like, okay, I'm going to start dropping my resume off at all these banks or all these financial institutions. So like Cash Money, there are so many foreign exchange stores, anything to do with banking or anything to do with finance. I would go and drop my resume off, right? So, and then I would take bus and go down to Brampton, go down to Mississauga, and I dropped my resumes at 120 branches of all the banks, right? Took me 6 months. For 6 months, there was no call, right? No call came for 6 months. I'm dropping my resume. And that was summertime too. It wasn't even winter. Summer gets really hot too, right? And especially you're only 2 years in the country or year and a half in the country, you're still very new. Yeah. So dropped my resume off. After 6 months, I got 4 calls from the same bank. So 4 interview calls from the same bank but different branches. And that's how I got my first job at CIBC, right? At that time, all my friends were going to different province. Because for them, it was like, I want to get my PR. So I will go and do a factory job or this job, but I need to get my PR done, right? My thing was like, PR will come. If not today, PR will come in 2 years, 3 years. But at least I want to build my foundation very strong. So got the job at CIBC. Funny thing is, after 6 months in, I found out the job doesn't qualify for PR. Right? But luckily what happened was my team was very supportive and they promoted me to a financial services rep, which is, open up accounts, mortgages, lending. And then I was able to qualify for my PR application. So this was a little bit of a journey, like how I found the job and everything. And then I applied for PR, but rules change. Right? So my application got rejected, and then the new express entry came in and they were like, oh, you don't have enough points, because I came after high school.
You're right.
Okay. And the type of work experience I had, it wasn't full 2 years. So I only got points for 1 year. Right. So I started talking to people. I was like, hey, what can I do? What can I not do? And this and that. And my work permit expires. Right. My work permit expires. So like, what can I do? Like the only option I have is either I go back to India or I do something here. Right. But they don't give you extension on work permit. So what I did, I went back to school, went back to Ryerson University as an international student, right? So think about it, I already paid international fee at Centennial, $25,000. Now I have to pay international fee at Ryerson, which is about $12,000 per semester, right? And then you have 6 or 7 semesters to do. So I did that. And then I was looking at courses, right? So they have typical business management, accounting, finance. And then one course I came along was real estate. And I was like, okay, this is something new and this is something more real life. I could relate to these things because by that time, my uncle was a real estate agent. And I used to go with him. Like I would just go with him to drive his car so he doesn't have to park and everything. And I'll just stay in the car for him. But I was like, you know what? I'll do real estate and then see how things go, right? At least this is a real life thing. At least if I learn something from here, I can use it. So all that happened, that time I was working part-time at CIBC again, got demoted because I could not keep my full-time job, so I had to work part-time. Stayed at CIBC still, and then I got, whatever, like I kept on paying the fees, $10,000, $15,000 per semester out of my own savings that I had from previous work or credit card payments. All that happened, and I was like, okay, let's. And all this time, I was waiting that hopefully my PR points will come down enough that I can apply for it now, right? So all that happened, and then eventually I got qualified to apply for PR, and then I applied for PR, and then the PR got rejected again, right? And they are telling me that, hey, like you have a student loan. That's why your PR got rejected. Right?
Yeah.
So I had to somehow manage to get $25,000 to pay off my student loan. I applied again for the PR, and that's how my PR came in. And so think about it. I applied for PR in 2014. I only got my PR in 2018, 4 years after.
Okay.
It's not supposed to take that long, right?
It's long.
And then by this time, I was already $100,000 in debt. School stuff. I did Uber for some time. I was like, okay, you know what? I'll do Uber. And then see how things go because I had to pay for expenses, right? So once I got this is before I got my PR, I actually quit CIBC.
Okay. So you did Bachelor's of Commerce in Ryerson?
I did business management in real estate. So which is Bachelor's of Commerce. Which is Bachelor's of Commerce. So my major is real estate, right? So before I got my PR, I quit CIBC because I couldn't manage school and work. Right? Started doing Uber, got my PR. I was like, okay, now what? Now I have my PR. I don't have a job, right? So I applied for a job. I got a job at a good company, worked there for a few months. But all this time, my previous manager from CIBC, who hired me in 2012, he goes into real estate. Okay. He was a branch manager. He quits and he started doing real estate. And then he was like, hey, can you help me out? And I was like, you know what? I have nothing else to do on the weekends. Let me just go help this guy out, right? Okay. So I would go pick up his boards, put them in the car, go to open houses, pretty much do all the admin work for him, right? Follow up, call the client, see what they need. So by all this time, I was getting involved into real estate, but not knowingly I'm getting involved. I was just helping him out, right?
Right.
So all this happened, and then I was like, okay, this is something I like, right? This is something I'm enjoy doing, and this something doesn't feel like work to me, because I could be on my laptop the whole day reading about real estate, but it doesn't tire me out. So that point, I decided to get my license.
Okay.
Right. But when I bought my first house, the money that came to me to buy my first house was from helping this guy out in real estate.
Sounds
great. I would have never saved that money, because think about it. I got my PR in 2018, right? When you're working a job, you can only save so much.
Right.
When you're making $3,000-4,000 a month and you have $2,000 in payments and loans and everything else, it's gonna take you 2 years before you save $50,000.
Right.
But by helping this guy out, in 1 year I made like $50,000. In a few months I made $50,000 on top of the money I had. So by end of 2019, all my debt was paid off, school debt, right? And I had this extra money, and that's what helped me to buy my first house, right?
Really awesome.
Yeah, and then I was like, okay, so there is power in real estate, because if I work at this job for 10 years, think about how much money I'm going to save. And if I give my 100% in real estate in 2-3 years, think about how much potential I have, right? And that's when I quit the job that I was doing at that point. And that job was paying me good too, because I was doing treasury analyst role, so pretty much managing bank accounts for a company, right? And I quit, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna go out there and give myself a chance. You know, because 10 years down the line, you don't know where you're gonna be. So I quit. I was like, you know what, the worst case, what's gonna happen? Because in life, I always think about what's the worst case scenario. What's the worst could happen? The worst could happen is maybe I make no money, but then the good part is maybe I can make a lot of money. Right? So even when I was working my actual job, I had surpassed my actual job income in real estate when I was doing real estate on the side. And I saw that transition and I saw that power. I was like, hey, like this is fun. And on top, like I work with a lot of new immigrants actually. A lot of my clients are first-time home buyer from Bangladesh, Pakistan, India, because I like to educate them, right? I want to tell them, be like, hey, this is how you should do it. Get your credit card, do this, do that, right? So this is pretty much the whole journey, and this is where I am right now. And you know, in real estate, past 2 years, now trying to do more on social media to scale, but also trying to add more value to people. Like this podcast we are having, hopefully someone can understand from my journey that if I wanted to give up, I could have given up 5 years ago and went back home.
Your journey giving me goosebumps.
Yeah. No, and I will share that map with you. You should put it up there. It's actually 120 branches. All of them are marked up.
So
all of them are marked up.
So let me ask you a question regarding accommodation. What is the best way to find accommodation in Canada as a student?
What is the best way?
Yeah.
So students is a little bit tricky, right? Reason being because when a student...
Please answer this question in English.
In English, right? ठीक है. अच्छा, तो जो students है वो थोड़ा tricky हो जाता है, क्योंकि जब यहाँ पे students आते हैं वो या तो as an individual आते हैं, ठीक है, या फिर उनके already यहाँ पे friends होते हैं, ठीक है. When you're coming as an individual, आपको आपका एक rental budget बहुत कम होता है, ठीक है, because you're a student, you can only afford $500 to $600 a month, ठीक है. In that budget आप सिर्फ एक room ढूंढ सकते हो, ठीक है. नाउ एवरी रियल एस्टेट एजेंट इज अ कमीशन बेस्ड एजेंट, ठीक है। उनको पैसा तब मिलता है व्हेन दे फाइंड यू समथिंग एंड दे क्लोज इट। यूजुअली रूम रेंटल्स द वे दे वर्क, जो रूम रेंटल्स होते हैं वो एक, मान लो आप घर के अंदर 3 रूम्स हैं, ठीक है। इफ 2 ऑफ देम आर ऑक्यूपाइड, जो एक रूम होएगा वो ऑलरेडी फर्स्ट प्राइवेटली एडवर्टाइज किया जाएगा फेसबुक पे या कजीजी पे, ठीक है। तो अगर कोई भी लोग इंडिया से स्टूडेंट्स आ रहे हैं और उनको हेड स्टार्ट करनी है अपना बेसमेंट ढूंढने के लिए, रूम ढूंढने के लिए, उस एक छोटे बजट में 500 to 600 के बजट में, मैं उनको बोलूँगा कि आने से 2 या 3 महीने पहले ही kijiji.ca या फेसबुक मार्केट प्लेस पे, या सबसे बेस्ट जो लोग जिस चीज़ पे फोकस नहीं करते वो है उनकी कॉलेज की ऑफ कैंपस वेबसाइट्स, ऑफ कैंपस हाउसिंग वेबसाइट्स, ठीक है। आपके कॉलेज में एक ऑन कैंपस हाउसिंग होता है, एक ऑफ कैंपस हाउसिंग होता है। ऑन कैंपस इज वेरी एक्सपेंसिव, इट्स अबाउट $8,000 फॉर आई थिंक 2 semesters, ठीक है। उसी में ऑफ कैंपस हाउसिंग होता है जहाँ पे जो लैंडलॉर्ड्स हैं दे आर प्री क्वालिफाइड बाय द कॉलेज,
ओके,
राइट। सो यू हैव अ पीस ऑफ माइंड कि ये लोग आपको परेशान नहीं करेंगे, है ना। तो वो एक ऑफ कैंपस हाउसिंग हो गया, एक आपका kijiji.ca हो गया, या फिर आपका एक फेसबुक मार्केट प्लेस का ग्रुप हो गया। अदर देन दैट, अगर आपके पास ऑलरेडी यहाँ पे फ्रेंड सर्कल है जो यहाँ पे रह रहे हैं, वो फिर देन इट्स बिकम लॉट मोर इजी बिकॉज़ देन यू कैन आस्क देम टू फाइंड यू समथिंग,
ओके,
ठीक है। तो मेक श्योर आप जब यहाँ पे आप एज अ स्टूडेंट आ रहे हैं और वहाँ से अकोमोडेशन ढूंढने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, यू मेक योर रेज्यूमे, ठीक है। एक वीडियो इंट्रोडक्शन बनाओ, यू हैव टू बी प्रोफेशनल, ठीक है, बिकॉज हाउ कैन समवन हु इज लिविंग हियर ट्रस्ट यू, राइट। तो आप अपने एक वीडियो इंट्रोडक्शन बनाओ, एक रेज्यूमे बनाओ, एंड देन यू कॉल द गाइज और ईमेल देम, बिकॉज kijiji फेसबुक पे आप कभी भी फोन नहीं करते, एवरीथिंग इज थ्रू मैसेजेस, राइट। तो अगर आप, और इवन अब कोई स्टूडेंट्स आ रहे हैं जैसे जो स्कारब्रो में आ रहे हैं, ब्रैम्पटन में आ रहे हैं, मिसिसागा में आ रहे हैं, देयर सो मेनी इंडियन पीपल, इंडियन लैंडलॉर्ड्स, right? So if you come across professionally, then they can help you out even when you're in India,
right? Okay.
Right? So I think this is the best way to do it, and I get so many messages every day, and I tell them to do this.
Okay. So let's talk about college diploma versus a degree, university degree.
I have done both, right? I have done a diploma and I have a college degree. I think जो degree और diploma में personally it could be different for everyone, but जो मैंने personally experience किया है, your diploma at a college is more hands on, ठीक है। जो जैसे मेरे courses में जो मेरे diploma में जो courses थे या जो exams थे, that actually prepared me for the real world, right? Because college diploma is a very short term course, ठीक है। वो सिर्फ 4 महीने 10-12 महीने के लिए, 16 months के लिए है। तो उसमें आपको सिर्फ वो जो आपको कोर्सेज इंपॉर्टेंट है सिर्फ वो ही दिखाते हैं,
जॉब ओरिएंटेड
कोर्सेज, बिकॉज़ दे प्रिपेयर यू फॉर द वर्कफोर्स। डिग्री में जब मेरा ट्रांजिशन हुआ था, आई थॉट अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स दे आर टीचिंग मी वाज फ्रॉम माय 10th and 12th class,
राइट,
ठीक है। In the end, they are both different experiences, right? When you go to a college as an institution and when you go to a university as an institution, the experience is very different, right? आप जब भी एक एजुकेशन लेते हो उसमें 2 फैक्टर्स होते हैं, एक तो एजुकेशन itself, the courses itself, एक आपके डायनामिक्स क्या है आसपास के,
right?
Yeah. When you go to college, आप आपकी क्लासेस में 50 years का भी बंदा होगा, एक 18 का भी होगा, 25, 30, 35, ठीक है। Then you see people from different areas of life,
right?
And then you understand. But the thing is, in terms of extracurricular activities, sometimes colleges lack there, ठीक है। लेकिन जब आप यूनिवर्सिटी में जाते हो वहाँ पे इतने सारे क्लब्स होते हैं, इतने सारे इवेंट्स होते हैं, इतने सारे टॉक शोज होते हैं, it makes you uncomfortable,
right?
And when you become uncomfortable, you learn,
right? So what do you think about certification? जैसे if I talk about finance or accounting, तो उसमें CIFC हो गया, Canadian Security Scores, so ये important है jobs के लिए।
ये डिपेंड करता है आप कौन सी जॉब में जाना चाहते हो, ठीक है। अब आप जैसे जॉब सर्च कर रहे हो, उसमें आप 2 तरीके की जॉब सर्च करते हो। एक तो आप बोलते हो कि मुझे यही सिर्फ बैंक में ही जॉब करनी है एंड दिस इज माय टारगेट, ठीक है। तो आप कोई भी अगर आप फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशन या फाइनेंसिंग इन्वेस्टमेंट कंपनी में काम करना चाहते हो या बैंक में काम करना चाहते हो, देन यू शुड डेफिनेटली गो फॉर CSE और इफिक, जो इफिक म्यूचुअल फंड है, ठीक है, क्योंकि these courses are very investment based. So when you have these certificates and you're applying for a job with a diploma and certificate, the hiring manager, he knows that you have an idea of how these things work, right? And for some of the jobs, these are prerequisite. तो अगर वो आपके पास सर्टिफिकेशन है तो ही वो आपको जॉब मिलेगी. सो आई थिंक अगर आप बहुत केयरफुली अपने सर्टिफिकेट चूज करो, ठीक है, then it will definitely help you out.
Right.
Because I had, जब मैंने आपको बताया जो मेरा कोर्स था सेंटिनल कॉलेज में, उसमें I had CSE, इफिक का भी उसमें उन्होंने पढ़वाया था. Then they taught me life insurance. I think then they taught me CPH, Canadian Practices Handbook. And these all, even if you take all these certificates, वो आपको job market में help करेगा ही करेगा. Right? So anyone who is in finance or trying to get into investing or trying to find a job in banking in Canada, they should get at least IFIC, which is mutual funds.
Right. So मैं यहाँ पे एक चीज ऐड करना चाहूंगा कि अभी मतलब जैसे अकाउंटिंग में किसी को जाना है तो वो डिप्लोमा चूज करे और कनाडा सेटल होना है, तो क्योंकि ACCA जो कोर्स है, ACCA में आप अगर डिप्लोमा कर रहे हो, जैसे आपने बाद में चल के BCom किया, राइट, तो उस समय क्या होगा कि आपको एक तो आपका मतलब एक्सपेंस ज्यादा, आपको इन्वेस्टमेंट ज्यादा करनी पड़ी, राइट, और टाइम भी लगा, राइट. तो अगर कोई अगर अपने मतलब डिप्लोमा के साथ अगर ACCA कर रहा है, तो जैसे 9 पेपर्स कंप्लीट होंगे उसके, तो एंड ही विल गेट डिग्री फ्रॉम OBU लाइक ऑक्सफोर्ड ब्रूस्की यूनिवर्सिटी, BSc इन अप्लाई, एंड WES के मतलब इक्विवेलेंट होता है कनाडा में वो भी. तो टाइम बच सकता है. अगर
टाइम बच सकता है. मेरी सिचुएशन में क्या था कि मैं स्टक हो गया था बिकॉज मैं PR, है ना. तो और क्योंकि अगर आप जैसे इवन मान लो आप यहाँ पे आ रहे हो, आपके लिए मुझे अकाउंटिंग का कोर्स चाहिए, देन लुक फॉर कोर्सेज इन सेनेका कॉलेज और सेंटिनल कॉलेज और हम्बर कॉलेज. आप वैसे कोर्स चूज करो जो आपको, क्योंकि काफी जो ये कॉलेजेस हैं इनके टाइप्स हैं यूनिवर्सिटीज के साथ. तो अगर आप यहाँ पे 3 साल कोर्स करते हो तो वहाँ पे आपको सिर्फ 1 या 2 साल लगाने पड़ेंगे, ट्रांसफर हो जाता है. मेरे में क्या था, इट वाज अ चेंज ऑफ क्या कहते हैं अपना स्पेसिफिकेशन, है ना, स्पेशलाइजेशन. क्योंकि जो मैंने सेंटिनल में कोर्स किया था वो था बिजनेस फाइनेंस इन बैंकिंग, but my degree was in real estate. So I could not transfer. मैं ट्रांसफर ही नहीं कर पाया कोर्सेज अपने वहाँ पे, ठीक है, क्योंकि उसमें आई थिंक मुझे सिर्फ एक सेमेस्टर ट्रांसफर मिला था, उसमें ज़्यादा ट्रांसफर मिला नहीं था. लेकिन अगर आप ट्रांसफर स्पेसिफिक कोर्सेज में अप्लाई करते हो, जो ट्रांसफर स्पेसिफिक कोर्स जिनके ऑलरेडी पाथ बने हुए हैं पहले से ही, देन इट्स मच मोर हेल्पफुल, मच मोर हेल्पफुल.
और आप मतलब PNP के लिए मूव करना चाहिए मतलब दूसरे प्रोविंस या नहीं?
ये वाला क्वेश्चन मुझे बहुत लोग पूछते हैं. इवन जब मैंने आपको बताया था कि जब मैं कॉलेज में था मैं नहीं गया था, PNP के लिए मूव करना चाहिए कि नहीं करना चाहिए, उसके दो क्वेश्चन है मेरे लिए, ठीक है. उसमें एक ये कि आपका, क्योंकि एक एक्सप्रेस एंट्री है जो आपका फेडरल PR मिलता है, ठीक है, और जो PNP है वो प्रोविंशियल नॉमिनेशन से मिलता है. ओके, अब आप PNP आप लेने जा रहे हो, फॉर एग्जांपल सस्केचुअन, एडमंटन, नोवा स्कोशिया. व्हाट टाइप ऑफ जॉब आर यू गेटिंग फॉर द PNP, ठीक है, क्योंकि मैंने आपको बताया आपको PR मिल जाएगा, ठीक है. आपने मान लो आपने एज अ डिश वॉशर या फिर आपने इन अ कॉल सेंटर आपने जॉब करी 3-4 साल, आपने PNP लिया, आपको PR मिल गया, बट यू लॉस्ट दैट 4-5 years of crucial work experience, ठीक है. So PNP depends on your situation. If you are someone who can get your PR on express entry and you have a good job, तो आप express entry से लगा लो. अच्छा, अगर आपको PNP पे लगवाना है, make sure you're doing a good job for PNP too. Because in the end आपको PR मिल जाएगा, आपको PNP मिल जाएगा, लेकिन जब आप PR के बाद जॉब लेने जाओगे, they don't look at your PNP and PR, they look at your work experience. तो आप अभी PR जल्दी लेके फिर स्ट्रगल करना चाहते हो कि अपना करियर फोकस करके एक करियर बना के और इवेंचुअली PR लेना चाहते हो, ठीक है. क्योंकि मेरा पर्सनली ये मानना है कि PR आ जाए या 2 साल बाद आए, if you're working, it doesn't make a difference.
Right. अगर मतलब आपको अगर अच्छा जॉब मिल रहा है, जैसे कि अकाउंटिंग का स्कोप है अल्बर्टा के अंदर, तो आप अगर आपको जॉब ऑफर हो रहा है नॉक बी लेवल तक, तो आप मूव कर सकते हो, राइट?
हाँ, अगर आपको अच्छी जॉब मिल रही है जिससे आपका जो, अब जैसे मान लो आप मुझे कहते हो कि मेरा फ्यूचर इंटरेस्ट अकाउंटिंग का है, ठीक है, तो ठीक है, अगर आपको पीएनपी बेस्ड में ही अगर आप एक अकाउंटिंग जॉब मिल रही है, ठीक है, तो आप डेफिनेटली गो, देन इट मेक्स सेंस, इट्स इन लाइन विद योर पीआर एंड योर करियर,
राइट?
लेकिन काफी लोग क्या करते हैं, दे पुट देयर करियर ऑन द साइड एंड दे वरी अबाउट पीआर एंड पीएनपी, राइट? जितना मुझे पता है, जो पीएनपी होता है, द एम्प्लॉयर हैज टू साइन अ डॉक्यूमेंटेशन, राइट? बिकॉज़ एम्प्लॉयर हैज टू, आई थिंक एम्प्लॉयर हैज टू स्पॉन्सर, जितना मुझे आइडिया है उस चीज का, लेकिन उस चीज में भी नॉट एवरी बिग एम्प्लॉयर इज गोना साइन इट फॉर यू. सो आप क्या करते हो, बाय डिफॉल्ट यू स्टार्ट वर्किंग एट स्मॉलर कंपनीज, या फिर यू वर्क एट गैस स्टेशन, पिज्जा स्टोर्स, क्योंकि दे विल गिव यू द डॉक्यूमेंटेशंस फॉर पीएनपी, ठीक है? आई थिंक यस, माय पीआर वाज लेट, मे बी आई कुड हैव गॉटन माय पीआर 2 years earlier. Like, अगर मैं सस्केचुअन किया होता, वहाँ पे मैंने फैक्ट्री में काम किया होता थ्रू LMIA या जो भी था, but at least I made my career out of it, right? But again, उसके अलावा सब कुछ ये आपकी पर्सनल सिचुएशन में भी डिपेंड करता है कि आपकी
डिपेंड्स.
क्योंकि आपके पास एक्सपीरियंस नहीं है या फिर आपके आईएलटीएस के स्कोर कम है, तो आपको लग रहा है पीएनपी से ही मेरा रिजल्ट आ सकता है, then you have no choice, then you have to go for PNP.
Okay. So नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन है कि अगर किसी को रियल एस्टेट एजेंट बनना है या उसमें जाना है, तो पहला स्टेप क्या होगा? वेयर दे शुड गो, वेयर दे शुड रजिस्टर एंड एवरीथिंग, प्लीज एक्सप्लेन.
मैं आपको एक चीज बताऊंगा, अगर आपको देखो, रियल एस्टेट काफी लोग करते हैं पैसे की वजह से, काफी लोग करते हैं अलग अलग रीजन की वजह से, ठीक है, बट जस्ट टू स्टार्ट इन रियल एस्टेट, जो आपका हम्बर कॉलेज का कोर्स है, आई थिंक इट्स अबाउट $5,000-6,000, और बाय द टाइम आप अपना लाइसेंस लेते हो, इंश्योरेंस भी करते हो, इट कम्स आउट टू अबाउट $8,000, ठीक है? सो व्हिच इज एन इन्वेस्टमेंट. सो इफ फ्रॉम विद इन, इफ यू डोंट इवन नो यू कैन डू इट, then I don't see the point of paying $8,000 and then you find out, अरे यार इसमें तो मुझे बहुत टेंशन हो गया, कस्टमर ऐसे बोल रहा था, कस्टमर मेरे पे चला रहा है, कस्टमर समझ नहीं रहे हैं, तो इट्स अ लॉट ऑफ मेंटल एंड साइकोलॉजिकल प्रेशर, ठीक है? The best thing I advise to anyone, and this is what I did, that's what I'm saying, best thing आप ये करो, आप अपने एरिया में एक रियल एस्टेट टीम देखो जो अच्छा परफॉर्म कर रही है, ठीक है? And you tell them, I will help you out. Yeah. Even if you have to help them out for free, because मैंने भी वही किया था, ठीक है? See how they're operating, see how much money they're putting in marketing. Okay? Right. आपने अगर आज लाइसेंस ले लिया, people will not call you कि अरे आपने लाइसेंस ले लिया, चलो हम घर खरीद लेते हैं, हम ऐसे कर लेते हैं, ठीक है? You have to go out there.
As a part time आप कर सकते
हैं. हाँ. Yes, you can do part time. Weekends. आप कर सकते हो पार्ट टाइम भी, बट एवरीवन, आपने रमन से भी बात करा होगा, है ना? ही इज सो एक्सपीरियंस्ड, ही इवन सेज दैट यू कैन डू पार्ट टाइम बट यू कैन ओनली परफॉर्म एज अ फुल टाइम एजेंट, राइट? अगर आज आपका क्लाइंट फोन करता है कि मुझे सुबह 8 बजे ये प्रॉपर्टी देखनी है और आप काम पे हो, देन यू आर पुटिंग देम ऑन रिस्क, नॉट योरसेल्फ, right? Because he can miss an opportunity because of you. So जो मेरा जो बेस्ट तरीका है, before you go put out eight, क्योंकि मुझे कल भी 2-3 फोन आए थे अलग प्रोविंस से, वो भी मुझसे ये पूछ रहे थे, मैंने कहा go work for someone, right? Are you okay being yelled at? ठीक है? इसलिए मैं लोगों को कहता हूँ कि आपको एक कस्टमर सर्विस जॉब करना बहुत जरूरी है, बैंक में जॉब करना बहुत जरूरी है. When you deal with people finances, they are different people. Right? So work for someone for 6 months, 1 year, and then you think you can do it, I think then you should go and get the license.
Okay.
Right? I think that's the approach जो मैंने ली थी, and I think, but everyone could be different, right? Lekin merely that approach worked. It gave me the confidence that yeah, I can do it.
So what advice would you offer to someone who's considering moving to Canada?
Okay, so I think my biggest advice to anyone, including you, if you want to come to Canada, Utkarsh, start reading. Okay, start reading about work permit processes, start reading about PR processes, start reading about Canadian immigration, start reading about economy, ठीक है. Yes, it's okay कि आप एक प्रोफेशनल के बाद जाके उसकी हेल्प ले रहे हो, ठीक है. Yes, it's okay आप मेरे पास आके रियल एस्टेट के बारे में पूछ रहे हो. Yes, it's okay आप एक इमिग्रेशन कंसल्टेंट के बारे में जाके पूछ रहे हो. जो मैंने not start approaching people, लेकिन जो मैंने यहाँ प्रॉब्लम देखी है लोगों में, especially students, they don't know what they're talking about, right? So उससे क्या होता है कि anyone can take advantage of you, right? I like to educate my clients because I want them to have the knowledge, even if they don't buy a house with me. ठीक है? तो जब मैं PR अप्लाई करने जाता था, जब मैं PR अप्लाई कर रहा था, तो मुझे एक कंसल्टेंट ने क्या बोला, उसने मुझे ये बोला कि तुम्हारी प्रॉब्लम ये नहीं, तुम्हें पता नहीं है. वो कह रहा तुम्हारी प्रॉब्लम ये, तुम्हें बहुत कुछ पता है. आप समझ रहे हो? बहुत लोग ये कहते हैं कि आपको फील्ड जॉब चाहिए, फील्ड जॉब. But there is no such thing as field job. You have to have NOC B or O or A. ठीक है, तो आपने अगर फाइनेंस की डिग्री ली है, you could work in real estate and get your PR. अगर आपने मेडिकल की डिग्री ली है, आप कहीं पे भी NOC A B C की जॉब लेके आप काम कर सकते हो. So I think lack of knowledge. Yeah. I get so many messages from people. One of my friends, NRI guide, right? He has 60,000 people on Instagram. Yeah. So I met him personally. He showed me. He has more than 1,000 messages, and people are asking him, how can I come to Canada? So how do you trust 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people? Why don't you go on the CIC website, read about it, and then if you have doubts, then you call someone, right? तो उससे क्या है, आप protected हो. कल को अगर मैं आपको कुछ झूठ बोलता हूँ, तो आपको पता रहेगा कि नहीं यार, मैंने तो वैसे पढ़ा था.
खुद की रिसर्च होनी इम्पोर्टेंट.
खुद की सर्च होनी इम्पोर्टेंट है. And then when you come here, be focused. Don't get into I want to buy a car, I want to do this. You know, it's okay to buy all those things because life किसी को नहीं पता कितनी बड़ी है. ठीक है ना? Enjoy करना जरूरी है, but you have to invest. You have to have something going on the side for yourself. Right. So ये जो आपने मुझसे क्वेश्चन पूछा, काफी अच्छा क्वेश्चन पूछा, क्योंकि मुझे ये मैंने बहुत जगह नोटिस किया है कि लोग अपने आप को एजुकेट नहीं करते उस चीज के बारे में. ठीक है.
So where can our listeners find you online?
They can find me on Instagram, Reet Realtor, REET REALTOR.
लिंक डिस्क्रिप्शन में दे दो.
लिंक डिस्क्रिप्शन में डाल देना. They can also find me on YouTube पे थोड़ा सा एक्टिव नहीं हूँ, but I will start putting more. Reet Singh, and LinkedIn of course, right? So if they want to reach out to me, अगर उनको कुछ भी questions हैं about the career, about banking especially, because I used to work at the bank, I have connections here who they can help them to, you know, at least get an interview, get a job, or give them idea or guidance. Right. I have friends in IT, I have friends in accounting and stuff. तो किसी को कुछ knowledge चाहिए, then they can send me an email, right? But the only thing I request is when you send an email to anyone, not just me, give an introduction about yourself. Right? Tell them specifically what you're looking for. Don't just say कि hi लिख के छोड़ दिया और then you wait for me to say hi. फिर आप how are you लिख रहे हो, फिर मैं how are you लिख रहा हूँ.
Right. Give your full introduction.
Give your full introduction because this is your professionalism.
Yeah.
ना ही मैं आपको दोस्तों और ना ही आप मेरे दोस्त. जब मैंने आपको email किया था या मैसेज किया था, I give you a full introduction. Be like, hey, this is me. Do it. Let's do it. If not, then it's fine. You know. So and then. The more professional you are, the more chances will people will give you.
Right. So मैं भी एक वीडियो है, मतलब अभी आर्या करके हैं वैंकूवर से. So उन्होंने एक बनाया हुआ हीरो इंट्रोडक्शन, जिसमें वो मतलब अंडर जस्ट 1 minute अब फुल इंट्रोडक्शन दे देते.
हाँ.
तो ऐसे मैंने भी एक मतलब अपना बना रखा है, जो मैंने आपको शायद भेजा था.
हाँ. तो वो बहुत जरूरी है, क्योंकि no one has time.
Yeah.
To reply to every single message, right? लेकिन आप ऐसा मत बोलो कि जॉब कैसे मिलेगी. What have you done to get that job? पहले आप ये बताओ. अगर आप मुझे ये बोल रहे हो कि मैंने यार PWC में अप्लाई किया, मैंने ये अप्लाई किया, मैंने वहाँ अप्लाई किया, वो मुझे बोल रहा है कि आपके पास CSC नहीं है, फिर मैं आपको बताऊंगा ना कि हाँ आप CSC ले लो या फिर आप म्यूचुअल फंड ले लो. नहीं तो अगर आपके पास डिग्री है तो आप CPA कर लो. आप ये वाली जो रिक्रूटिंग फर्म्स आप इनको कांटेक्ट कर लो.
Right.
You have to because this is what I learned even when I used to work, right? You have to go to people with solutions, potential solution, not with problems.
Yeah, right.
ठीक है?
So, in your opinion, what is success? How do you define success?
I think I'm still looking for an answer for that question. लेकिन I think मेरे लिए success is to help out family, right? Being able to give them anything that I could.
Okay.
ठीक है? मैं आपको अब छोटा सा एग्जांपल देता हूँ. जब हम इंडिया में थे, we came from okay-ish family, right? But we never had that much money to like, okay, हम ये भी ले लो, वो भी ले लो, ऐसे भी कर लो, है ना? और आप trips पे चले जाओ. So I think success for me, it's never money. It's not money, but it's just being able to help out family, being able to help out people around me, right? Because I don't need much for happiness. I don't need much for myself. I'm okay with like I have no other hobby than maybe just buying cars or anything, right? So happiness for other people, like happiness for siblings. If I find an international student, अगर मुझे कोई मिलता है, street पे मिलता है, मुझसे कुछ पूछता है, if I can help them out, or if I'm in the position to help them out, like how Romans are doing, right? That's success for me.
Okay.
Right.
So,
but it's never money. Even in real estate, the reason I got into it's not about money. It's I want to grow as a person. I wanna grow my social media. I wanna grow all those things, right? Like I wanna help out people, and then that will eventually bring money. Right. But money is not the only target I have.
So any message for my listeners?
Message for the listeners is, keep on reading, increase your knowledge. If you're in Canada, if you're in India thinking of coming here, don't settle for any course. ठीक है, आप अपना course अच्छे से choose करो. That could help you, get a better job and better career. अगर आप already Canada में हो and you want to try out different career opportunities, right? Then go for it. आप उसके बारे में सोचो नहीं कि क्या होगा, कहीं नहीं, कुछ कैसे होगा. There are so many resources. Some of those अब हम उस दिन लाइव पे बात कर रहे थे इस बारे में. कुछ resources are only a text away. Utkarsh, how I met you, how I met NRI guy, how I meet so many people. I just text them, I just call them, right? लेकिन आप text करने के बाद आप क्या provide कर रहे हो उनको, आप क्या value दे रहे हो उनको. If I go to someone, अगर मैं आपके पास I'm thinking अरे उत्कर्ष के शो से मुझे ये benefit हो जाएगा, चल इससे मुझे ये then it's not gonna work. Right? So keep on meeting people. I think keep on meeting people with a pure heart. और बस अपना, have a focus. That's it. Compete with yourself.
Right.
अभी मैं 2 साल पहले कहाँ था? $100,000, $150,000 in debt. Right? School debt. वो भी कुछ ऐसा डेट नहीं था कि मैंने गाड़ी ले लिया, कुछ ले लिया और या फिर मैंने गैम्बल कर दिया. ठीक है, बट यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड, क्योंकि यहाँ पे क्या है कि काफी स्टूडेंट्स कनाडा में डिप्रेशन में चले जाते हैं छोटी चीजों की वजह से. ठीक है, काफी स्टूडेंट अपने फ्रेंड्स, मैं ये नहीं कह रहा कि फ्रेंड्स बुरे होते हैं, बट दे ब्लाइंडली हेल्प देम आउट फाइनेंशियली, राइट? साइनिंग अ लोन फॉर देयर फ्रेंड्स, ओके, opening up joint credit cards or paying something और कि मुझे बाद में देना, ठीक है. But you guys need to think before you do all those things.
Right.
पता है कितने मुझे मैसेज आते हैं कि मैंने अपने फ्रेंड के लिए गाड़ी के लिए को सेंड कर दिया, now he is not paying his bill, so I have to pay. Right. So think before doing all those things.
Wealth management is very important.
Wealth management is very important. Having a financial sense is very important.
Okay.
It's good to be around people. अगर देखो, if my friend circle, I have different type of people, right? Someone smokes, someone drinks, someone does this, someone does something else, but that doesn't faze me. उसका impact मुझ पे नहीं कुछ पड़ता, कि मैं जो हरप्रीत हूँ वो हरप्रीत ही है. मैं कभी peer pressure में नहीं आता.
Right.
If I'm giving someone money, because let's say आप और मैं अच्छे friend बन गए, right? Then I'll know उत्कर्ष मुझे देगा, और अगर उत्कर्ष मुझे नहीं देगा, then it's उत्कर्ष luck.
Right.
कि भगवान तो सब कुछ देख रहा है. Right? So people who are in India thinking of coming here, for them the message is to improve your knowledge, Stop messaging all these Instagram influencers. Yes, they help you out. They give you a little bit sense of how the life is in Canada. But none of these guys can help you out if you cannot even help yourself.
सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट कि आपकी रिसर्च क्या है, क्योंकि मैंने भी देखा कितने सारे लोग सिर्फ मैसेज कमेंट्स में भर देते हैं कि मेरे को कनाडा आना है, कैसे भी करके कनाडा आना है।
बस कैसे भी कह रहा था कि मुझे वहां पे जॉब दिलवा दो, है ना,
हाँ।
कि मुझे पैसे नहीं है, तुम कर क्या रहे हो, ऐसे कोई भी मैं हेल्प नहीं करेगा। अगर मैंने आपको मैसेज किया था उत्कर्ष मुझे आपके उस पे आना है, आपके शो पे, आप क्या कुछ भी, क्योंकि क्यों आना है, कैसे आना है, आप कौन हो, ठीक है। और यहाँ पे यहाँ जो कनाडा में लोग आए हैं, try to compete with yourself, try to make yourself a better person, right?
So आप
learn more about financial
literacy.
खुद की रिसर्च होनी चाहिए। learn more about
कनाडा आ रहे हो तो आप मतलब कनाडा की इकोनॉमी समझो, उसके लैंड एरिया समझो। मैं क्या करता हूँ, मैं रोज कनाडा का मैप चेक करता हूँ, टोरंटो किधर है, फिर टोरंटो से किचनर कितनी दूर है, मैं पूरा पिकरिंग किधर है, सब कुछ चेक करता हूँ रोज।
So that helps you out.
तो आइडिया हो रहा है, धीरे धीरे ही आपको एक आइडिया हो रहा है।
अब मैं आपको छोटा सा एग्जांपल देता हूँ। मेरे को मैसेज आते हैं कि और मैं ये स्टूडेंट्स की बात नहीं कर रहा, आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट पीपल हु आर लेट 20s, अर्ली 30s, मिड 30s, जो फैमिलीज हैं, और वो यहाँ पे आते हैं, कहते हैं वी वांट टू फाइंड अ रेंटल फॉर $1,500 ऑल यूटिलिटीज इंक्लूडेड। ठीक है, तो मैंने कहा भैया $1,500 में देयर इज नथिंग इन द मार्केट, right? You need to know a basic difference between apartment and a condominium and a basement. Right? You don't go to a different country setting your own budget. The market of that country will give you a budget, and options, and then you choose from there. ठीक है, तो अब अगर आपके listeners में couples हैं या जो families Canada आ रहे हैं, there are so many websites, Realtor.ca, Realmaster, House Sigma, Google. Right. Get an idea of the rental market. Get an idea of the housing market. अगर एरिया में घर 8 लाख के बिक रहे हैं, तो आप मुझे ये नहीं बोल सकते कि मुझे 7 लाख का उसी एरिया में चाहिए या मुझे 6 लाख का चाहिए। This is again come back to the point of educating yourself. Explore. Explore.
It's time to end up this podcast. Thank you very much, Harpreet, for your valuable time. And
thanks so much,
thanks for listening, everyone. If you enjoyed this episode, you'd like to help support the podcast, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or leave a rating and review. To catch all the latest from me, you can follow me on Instagram _Utkarsh Parashar, and also follow Harpreet on Instagram. And thanks again, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you so much.